Have you ever wanted to join a cult? I know I have. Damn it. Alright, let's start over. Have you ever wanted to start a cult? I know I have wanted to either start one or join one at some point in my life. And it's because that kind of occult stuff that's got me really interested in this game. I'm huge into the Lovecraftian lore and all that good stuff, and always find it really interesting, so let's dive into this. See how it goes. Dear Mr. Charles Reed, as you've requested me to research the outburst of hysteria and visions in the city of Oakmont, Massachusetts, it turns out that your assumptions were correct. Such cases are indeed more frequent here. I wonder what Emma is barking about. Jesus. Men and women from across the country are drawn to Oakmont, haunted by visions similar to yours, a city drowning and the presence of something great yet unknown. As luck has it, I believe that we have stumbled upon the source of your ailment and the person who might help you with it. Prepare yourself, then come to Oakmont as soon as you can. I will meet you here to help you on your way. Quarterly, Johannes von der Berg. Characters having visions. Ugh. What's going on here? Is this me? Ugh. Ooh. Looks like a panic attack, maybe? Something like that? Seems we are definitely on a rickety boat. Very rickety. That isn't sailing? Oh, oh. Star spawn of Cthulhu? Probably shouldn't stand like that. Or do that. Sarlacc pit vibes. Okay, so it was just a weird-ass dream. Okay. Alright. First aid kit brick. Chair and shit. Be my fire.
Hope I never have to use it, but something tells me I will.
Probably. 638 rounds. It's whatever. Ah, it's the opening thing. Okay. What was this? Folding camera.
Never trust a tourist advertisement.
What? Monolith National Park. I was waiting for you. Weird. Oh, I have to hold it? Ah, that's how I search. Gunpowder and clothesprings. Controls are a little weird, but manageable. I know what I need to do. Turn it up on now. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, can't search these lockers. Alright, step outside. Boy, it's beautiful weather we're having. Alright.
Now get out! Now get out!
Oh, alright. Fine. Shit. Press triangle to
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg.
Oh, hey,
At
dude.
your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my
I like
manners?
punctual people.
Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
What's the deal with this
Reaching
city?
Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't mark it, and this rickety packet ship is the only one that sailed here. Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood, a recent natural disaster, make it nigh impossible to reach. But you made it, Mr. Reed. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way or another.
That's ominous.
Tell me about this flood.
Yeah.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several weeks, and the water has risen ever higher without receding. Now the city is cut off from the mainland. I must say I rather like it, despite the inconvenience. Atmosphere, you know?
Neat.
You
My
said
problem.
you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
Where is
How can I find
Throgmorton?
Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
What's that supposed to mean?
Can you tell me a little about Mr. Throgmorton?
A remarkable creature, scion of a robust bloodline, a philanthropist, a scholar, and the patron of the famous Oakmont University. A man of great ambitions and even greater ego. Do not make him wait.
Sounds pretentious, but he may also just be a decent person. I'm gonna comment on the suit.
Eye-catching suit.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. A mere flood is no excuse for one to abandon one's style.
I take it you're a big fan of yellow.
Well, I have a particular weakness for it. Call it a personal quirk.
I don't know, that kind of gives me a Hoster feel. I'm suspicious of this man now.
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here. Any recommendations?
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel. Here's the key.
Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Reed.
Alright, one, I have never heard the terminology of feathered you a nest. And two, the Devil's Reef is actually like a cool name for something.
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot, or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
Oh, how convenient.
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Neat.
Other places? Like what?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper, places you'll need to get to the truth. This city is insular, its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand, so you better know where to turn in search of a lead.
How do you
What do you
fill
do?
your days, Mr. Vanderberg?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia, gathering seeds of thought like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
Him talking about that stuff just only makes me even more paranoid of him.
Well, that's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
That's just shady as shit.
We'll meet again, Mr. Reed.
Yeah. Thick boy. Is there a way to not join? No. Okay. Huh. This probably doesn't smell too wonderful, although the aesthetic is really cool. Alright, so let's go this way. Who's this dude? Is this Throckmorton? I bet you this is Throckmorton. He's the only dude wearing a nice suit. Yep. Cutscene.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is fine.
Is it awful he legit looks like a monkey?
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested.
Oh, Jesus.
Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
Why does he look like that? I want to ask, but that seems incredibly rude.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem.
Don't be a dick about it.
Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouth-ridden city will do a damn thing.
Innsmouth.
But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
Innsmouth-ridden. People from Innsmouth are here, and that's actually really not good. I see a lot of weird fucking people. There's probably deep ones around here too. It's fine, let's ask about his son.
What happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong.
I hope he doesn't look too much
smart,
like you.
The best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers. Mark my words.
You know, considering the things that are in Innsmouth, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't want to make an assumption.
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city.
Exactly what I was talking about.
Spurred Innsmouth to the ground. But now,
Whoa, when did that happen?
those filthy migrants occupy half this damn city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just refugees.
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
I really want to comment on it just to see what he says. I'm gonna do it.
Forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
Way to
That's
put it
because
gently.
no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
In a sarcastic sense, yes. Exquisite, Jesus Christ. Like I said, I feel bad kind of saying it, but he
Mr.
looks straight up like a
Throgmorton,
monkey.
Let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Vera. You have a point, newcomer.
So,
Vera.
did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
I see. Thank you.
Isn't it easier to just say fine?
I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. This fisherman supposedly brought him to the house, and then left to call me. But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
Where's the
house where
fisherman's
this
house?
all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. Was standing right in front of it.
Boy, I've never fucking been here! I can't just ghost that whatever.
You mentioned a lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
Cool, I'm gonna go.
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton, it's time for me to get started.
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
Hey, Robert's request. Robert must find us an Albert went missing in the port after returning from an expedition to the sea. Found barely conscious and all that. Until he is found, Robert won't allow anyone to leave the port, and he won't help me. Okay, let's have a key. Find Robert Throgmorton. I already did that. So now I have to go find his son. Alright, this is the fisherman's house, right?
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see them.
You're not
I've
very
said
friendly.
everything I know. I've said everything I know.
Alright, I didn't even talk to you. Alright. Cool, flashlight. Ugh. Gross as shit. What the hell is this? This is not up to OSHA standards. Oh, hi.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Alright.
There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee.
Okay, let's keep looking around here.
Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. What? Who are you? Are you police? I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
Tell
I
me what
want to
happened.
know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis. We were here. This is our house. Barry was outside on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... Okay. My head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing. Just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me...
That sounds familiar. Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will. Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was at or starve.
Who is Kay?
Who is this K you keep mentioning?
Outsider, show some respect. K is our lord, our light, our love.
Ah.
Sorry, I didn't know. Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. K be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything. And I have no idea what Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
He's an Innsmouther. That could be an issue.
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone. May have mercy on his soul.
I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself, Will.
Please, Detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or, did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
Yeah, those are some terrible dreams. Alright. Paul.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
Ow. Something's out here.
I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. Choo choo. Ahem.
Neat. Anything around here? Really? Diving helmet. Anything over here?
5 cards short of a full house.
Relaying. Relaying. Alright, how do I use the mindset? Retrocognition. Those who understand events that happened in the past. Expect enough evidence on the scene and the division will emerge. Except to find all the critical scenes. Okay. Anything else around here?
So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
Yep. It's fucking terrifying. Don't look at me like that.
Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much.
There's a knife. Strange knife.
Never seen knives like this before. Masterful work.
Indeed. Ah.
What's happening?
So, dudes are in here. Dude was hovering over his bed. That doesn't look very good. Alright, let's see. Some dude got murdered.
Take this, ape face.
So their son got shot. That was the dude hovering. And some dude picked up the barrel.
Yeah, run!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Yeah, run!
Alright, so it went pretty easily, I think, in order of events. That. And then that.
What?
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
Huh. Mind palace. Let's see here. Let's read some stuff. Will Hammond's testimony. Talked about him. Talked about Lewis. Brawl. Unconscious. No, they fought. Combine clues to make the dungeons. Only Throckmorton was dangerous and posed a threat to Lewis Flynn and his fellow fishermen. Okay. No? The Throgmorton sentiment. As in Innsmouth, Lewis and his people suffered at the hands of the Throgmortons. That could be. Yeah. That makes sense. Nope. Get back to that. I'm not done looking at the... Action time spread some sort of psychic influence, which made everyone hereby. Alright, so... So using my supernatural senses. Okay, so... Deductions. Spread hysteria around him. Okay, look at the casebook. Track down Albert. Okay.
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
So I think it's Albert that got into a huge scuffle. Well, of course they got into a huge scuffle, but something's going on with him. That's making him crazy or something? Giving him like sorts of supernatural abilities and the like. Alright. Let's drop here, I guess. Oh, cool, I didn't die. Alright, so... where could he have gone? Let's go to the beach. See where that lifeboat washed up. That's grisly. Alright, so it's like over here? Yeah, there's the lifeboat apparently. Lifeboat.
Where's your Oberon, huh, Titania?
For some reason I feel like that's a Warframe reference, but that's just me. I'm gonna walk around this book.
Can't catch a mackerel since those Innsmouthers took over the fishing business.
Nobody
You
likes
like it
these
here,
ones.
newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
That's not healthy. Look around here. This piece of paper. I hope that someone's finding this. My name is Albert Throgmorton, and this is my will. I want to warn you, don't go to the depths below Oakmont. There is unreadable. I shouldn't. We should have never done that. Everything should have remained in that cave, Professor Blank. I fear what will become of me. That's singing in my brain, dancing on my eyelids every time I close my eyes. The cycle goes on and on and on and on and on and on. In the end, it comes. I must warn everyone. I must tell my father that he is here. That's definitely not good. Something involving like Big Papa Cthulhu's here. What the hell?
Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it? Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
Ugh, my mind is hurting, apparently.